Morning. Good morning.
For you?
20 to 8 in the evening. And it's morning for me. I went to bed at 12:30 in the afternoon.
Yep.
Woke up 5 hours later or something and then wrote a show. And it might be weird. Not weird, just that's not funny.
Oh, right.
So we'll see. Be fine. How are you anyway?
All right. Yeah. Busy.
Busy?
Good. All good.
Busy till time? Or busy
busy everything.
I can't remember how much you said about your filming children on the podcast.
Oh, the other film. Yeah, the other film a bit. Yeah. So I'm kind of essentially working about like 6 days a week at the minute until I can balance it out. So I'm just busy everything at the minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair one.
To the point where I can't say things.
No words.
Yeah.
There's no words for the 6 hour week.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
6 day week.
6 day
week would be amazing. Yeah. Yeah. And it's only been like 2 days since we last did this. So being with you again is
painful.
Is a treat.
It's it's the highlight of the week. Welcome to my world.
Yeah.
Yeah. Weird. It's a weird time. It's a weird time of year. There was Storm Dennis. Then there was Storm
Isn't it
Cara before.
Is there an H this time?
I think so.
Harold or... No.
Harold Ramis. Storm Harold Ramis. Egon. Yeah. No,
Harold
weird
would be
time.
good. No, it's like Jorge. Storm Jorge.
Isn't that a J? Jorge? I can't remember.
Oh, maybe it is. Yeah.
I skipped over a few.
Yeah.
But it's been like bad weather for a long time. I don't know why. It's just been cold and very windy and kind of snowing.
Well, it's just winter.
Well, it's March.
Winter. It's not spring till the end of March.
Yeah, but it's not. When you say it's winter, it's not like the middle of winter.
No.
It's more wintry towards the end of winter than the middle of winter, apparently, is what it feels like. If you know what I mean. Worse weather now than in January or February.
Yeah. But so winter on the whole has been quite mild.
Yeah. I would have expected it to get more mild as it gets warmer.
Yep.
But apparently not.
Good.
But yeah, no weird
weather
stuff.
Talk.
Well, it goes into suicide.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
Lots of suicide going on, apparently.
All right.
Yeah.
Not in this
lots
room.
of posting of like lots of suicide awareness. I've got a few friends who are like quite crippled at the moment.
Oh, right.
And I think it's just a lot of. I do think weather has like a really big impact.
Yeah.
But
I can
just
see that.
really subconsciously.
I wouldn't have thought storms though. Storms are quite dramatic.
But it hasn't really been like lightning storms.
No,
Really. It's just been
like,
windy and cold and snowy and wet.
Yeah.
And it's just been like people go outside and they come in. It's like, oh.
Yeah.
And
Storm sigh.
Storm just why? Just existential storms.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was. I read a brief article about because we're recording this quite shortly afterwards because we've got scheduling issues. I've had to rely on Stoke News. And like one of them was there was warnings of a car trying to get into accidents on the A roads in Stoke. Like, and they were saying it's for financial gain, like trying to get into an accident to claim money.
Yeah.
But I think he just wanted to die. Do you know? And everyone's just like, oh, that greedy bastard. It's like, no, he's just lonely. He wants to meet people.
Very quickly.
Yeah. And just, like he was getting into a crash and then changing his license plate and trying to get into another crash.
He's got a very head-on personality.
Yeah, he's got no brake lights, this guy.
No.
When it comes to he goes into everything full force.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just, there's been loads of posting. It's really weird. But yeah, I think it's the weather and then I think winter as well. Although we found out that spring was the most suicidal season.
Did we?
Yeah. I think it was around Christmas time we covered it.
I guess I try not to think about it.
Don't want to talk about it.
Wasn't that when's Blue Monday? That's early year, isn't it? That's like January.
I think so. But I think there was something about that being a myth. I can't remember. I think we covered it around Christmas time because I was like, Christmas suicide, hooray.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently it's spring because Christmas people are around their family more.
Yeah.
They're around people more.
Yeah.
There's less of an
But then
inclination.
those that don't have a family, more likely to be.
Yeah. Yeah, but apparently spring is when like, oh, look, new life and I'm still here.
Yeah.
And then that's what goes on. But so yeah, we're approaching spring, suicide spring.
Yeah.
Spring suicide. It's going to be one of those shows. But yeah,
good.
Busy week, busy fun times.
Yeah. Just lots of things kind of kicking off and just trying to stay on top of it all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Enjoyable?
Yeah, definitely.
Just trying to stay on top of my enjoyment.
It's gearing towards things that I want to do, but like I've come into a project like halfway through, so it's like herding sheep at the minute because I don't know what's been done and what hasn't been done, and they kind of want me to take the lead on it. So like I'm just trying to gather all of this shit because nobody has talked to each other and nobody really knows what the other people have done. So I'm just trying to gather everything together so I can actually make a thing.
Sounds like a really organized sheepdog. It's like sheep herding. The dog's just like, guys, what has been done? Get over there.
Yeah, but it's part of it. Like it's and like it's project management essentially.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a good experience. I haven't had like a bad day at it yet. It's just
Yet.
Yeah. Well, it's just some of it's new. Like I haven't had to sort of manage people before. That's a new thing.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure it was ever something I was really interested in doing. Like go and do this.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Yeah. There's so much clear-cut communication that's needed, I think, to really be like, let's don't do this because I'm doing this.
Yeah.
You're doing this. I've told you not to. I'm doing this. And so on. But yeah, at least it's interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
And enjoyable.
Yep.
Just difficult to cope. I get not cope.
Well, it's been a few weeks, and by a few weeks I mean like 15 to 20 hours a week. So not even like full work weeks. So like it's still in like early phase of organising everything.
Yeah, fair one.
Yeah.
And you got a day off for weeks. That's good.
Yeah, Sunday.
Yeah, get to recoup.
That's good. Go shopping.
Go shopping?
Yeah.
What do you shop for?
Food.
Food?
What do you need food for?
Yeah. Do you food shop only once a week?
Yeah. I was one of those people that went every day. Like just
get out the house.
No, or like just on the way home from work. We weren't that organised as a household. And now we like plan the whole week and just go shopping once.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which makes a lot more sense.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I usually just cook one thing and eat it for a week.
Well, that's pretty much it. So like
I'll make one sandwich. I'm set for the week.
We'll make a big roast chicken at the start of the week or something like that, and then use chicken to make every other meal.
I'll just eat the chicken. It's just kind of what it is.
Organised.
Leave the carcass in the pan for a couple of months and then go, oh no. That's kind of the deal with me.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's dive straight into it.
Excellent.
Found some
Can't
good
wait.
stuff.
High energy.
Oh yes.
Strong.
Yeah, fucking 4 or 5 hours sleep, something like that again. I'll sort it out eventually.
Oh yeah?
No. Said it for a long time. I don't know what it is. Well, I'm not on the planet, really. I left my phone here for 3 days.
It's true.
And didn't care.
No. Oh, thank God. Like that.
What? What?
Like, I've left my phone. Thank fuck. I don't have to deal with my phone.
Oh, no. I don't use it.
No.
It's the reason. One of the main reasons I'm still single is I'll date someone, but I won't text them for a week because I won't look at my phone. And they're like, oh, so what have I done now? It's like, nothing. I just left my phone charging in the kitchen and forgot about it.
It's weird. I use my phone for everything. But what about like playing music?
I've got smart home. So just playing
like
music
in the car and...
don't drive. Really. If I'd go out, then I'll use the thing. Take my phone. But yeah, because I'm mostly in the house doing stuff.
I think everything I listen to, I do mobile. So I'll play it on my phone and then plug it into various things around the house depending on where I am.
Yeah, I've just got the thing that you plug it into, that plays it for me.
Oh, right.
That's just the only difference.
Yeah.
Just skips the middleman. And just don't use it.
Yeah.
I'm just bad at communicating with people online anyway. That's why I'm the head of the social media section.
Good.
But phone, so disorganized. I'm usually off the planet. So usually I'm just not really in the real world most of the time, I guess. Just kind of working and I was going to say dogging, but that's a different thing now, isn't it? Just taking my dog out and
dog looking aftering.
Yeah, dog chilling out with.
Yeah,
chilling out is all cool. Anyway, we got lots of Stoke-on-Trent news this week.
Excellent.
Which I don't know whether they're great stories or just nonplussed, or I've read them wrong. Right. Improvement works have started to renovate 2 fire-hit homes, which are set to be sold to first-time buyers for just £1. So you can buy a house in Stoke for £1, but it has been on fire.
It's still a pretty good deal.
Good deal for a burnt out house.
Yeah.
£1.
Just bulldoze it, put up a tent.
Yeah, just free wallpaper, free charred wallpaper,
Yeah.
free rug.
A
probably.
quid for a house.
Quid for a
I
house.
don't care if it's been on fire.
Yeah.
I'll pay nothing for a meal that's been on fire.
It depends, I guess, who's selling it. If you're selling it for a pound, well, it's a £1 deposit,
Okay.
and then a £60,000 mortgage. I think is what it went on to. Yeah, £60,000 loan over 15 years.
Well, fuck that then.
Well, I think that one of the big problems for buying a house is the deposit. So
Yeah.
if you
pulling
can
yourself out of that rut.
save that and just buy it for £1 deposit,
Yeah.
give me £1, and you
Yeah.
can pay my house off over 15 years.
Yeah. And you got got like a nice history in that house. Oh, this has been on fire.
Yeah, it's they were targeted in an arson attack. Why not live somewhere that's the target of an arson?
Yeah.
Once they fix the roof and sort the properties out, hopefully it won't look like a big mess.
Well, yeah.
That's just a quote from someone. Quote from a neighbour.
Well, hopefully by the time we paid it off, it won't look like shit.
I think these are just neighbours. Like they're just hoping like people are going to buy it and fix it. They've just been derelict buildings, so the council's got an initiative just to fill the derelict buildings with people.
All right. Sell it for £1. Let them deal with it.
60,000 and £1. In other Stoke-on-Trent news, police officers are hunting a tracksuit bottom wearing man who was seen shouting at women.
Okay.
Good. Good that they're hunting that person.
Yeah.
Hunt is a weird word.
Yeah.
But it's just a man in specifically tracksuit bottoms screaming at women in the street.
Now, was he shouting at women because he was targeting women, or was he shouting at women because it was only women there?
They were
that's
with
a
their
difference in the
partners,
attitude.
apparently.
Right. Okay.
So but it doesn't go into I don't think it went into too much detail about what he was yelling.
Yeah.
Because I think random screaming, I'm all for. Just shouting. They're like, all right, and leave him alone. He's having a rough day.
Yeah.
You know, storms, winter, spring's coming.
Yeah.
You know, just let him vent that stuff out. But yeah, apparently they were extra upset because they were with their partners.
Oh, right.
I think the idea was if I was on my own, it would have been worse. So hunt him down. Hunt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see the sense in that.
Yeah, I guess it makes sense. Well, as in the police are trying to hunt him.
Yeah.
Be easy to find.
Yeah.
Just go to and Marks and Spencer's. There'll be plenty of women there, and men, obviously.
Yeah.
Not
maybe.
Yeah, there'll be men and women. Yeah.
Some. Yeah.
There'll be that's his target audience is couples.
People.
I feel like Marks and Spencer's is a coupley place. That and Aldi.
Is that Aldi? Yeah, it's different ends of the couple spectrum, isn't it?
You start at Aldi and
Yeah.
you work your way up
and
to
you work
Marks
your
and
way up
Spencer's.
to Marks and Spencer's.
I don't know. Like
Although-
Marks and Spencer's does good grapes.
They do.
That's
They do
my,
nice food in general. It's just
stuff.
fucking expensive.
Yeah, but the grapes are worth
Yeah,
it.
and they do those LGBT sandwiches.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the guacamole.
Yeah.
Oh, how dare you demise our... That was gay pride at the Arnie convention.
Yeah.
In the episode.
Yeah. Episode. Yeah.
So yeah, watch out for a tracksuit bottom man screaming at women
All right.
if you're in
Yep.
the Stoke area. Elsewhere
But
in
if you do
Stoke-
see me, say hi.
yeah. I might just want to chat
Yeah.
from afar.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's how it goes. In other Stoke news, a drinker has been barred from Wetherspoons after he complained he was being threatened by a member of staff. Get out!
Well, that's very threatening.
Don't come back again. So yeah, he was just a guy having a drink. He was a different landlord from a different pub.
Oh, right.
Came into the Wetherspoons to have a drink, and a member of staff was like, "What the fuck are you looking at?" And he was like, "But the guys just threatened me. Get out."
I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always good. Well,
If you're a landlord and you've got a pub, and you want to go to the pub, you probably wouldn't go to your own pub.
this is
You'd be a bit
Probably
sick
true.
of it by that point, wouldn't you?
sick of it.
Well, a bit.
A little bit sick of it. Yeah,
Like you wouldn't go to work to hang out,
yeah.
I guess.
But and if if a pub employee was being abusive towards you, you'd probably take it more personally because you had employees,
Yeah.
pub employees as well. So you'd
I've
probably
got
report it.
employees.
But yeah, the bartender was extremely aggressive. In Leek, this was. Michael, who ran the nearby Bird in Hand, says he was told to leave for his own safety. Which happened at 11:30 p.m. on a Friday. You're barred for your own safety because our employee is being aggressive. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Don't fire the employees.
Yeah, don't.
Fire the patrons.
Fire the complainers.
Yeah.
Stop complaining. We were in Wetherspoons and I was just talking to a friend, a member of staff, someone I know. Oh, okay, so he knew the person, walked past me and said, "What the fuck are you looking at?" We know each other, right? Let's say hello.
I'm looking at you because I know you.
Yeah, this is social contract. This is how it works. I was sitting on the bar stool. Well, me and my partner turned around and he was 10 yards from us at this point. 10 yards isn't that close, is it?
It's not that close. No, 10 yards.
10 yards is American football downs. So like
3 meters? 4 meters?
something like that. Yeah, it's not like in your face. It's
No.
like, yeah, it's like
It's across the room.
It's more than hit this. It's more than
yeah.
this. This is like 6 yards maybe. I would say max.
No, this is barely 3.
3 yards.
From like, yeah.
From the tips of your shoes to the tips of mine,
That's
I'd say that's
maybe
a yard.
That's maybe a yard.
A yard, maybe 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
It's
yeah.
exciting for the audio listeners.
Yards.
What's the deal?
Yeah. I was sitting on the bar stool and I replied, "Are you really going to threaten us at work?" There were lots of words exchanged, but I didn't shout or scream at him, even when he was aggressive towards me. The manager came over and then this staff member clenched his fist and said, clenched his fist. The staff member clenched his fist. Then I said, "If you're going to hit me, then hit me." He was being very aggressive. Well, in that situation, you were trying to start a confrontation,
Yeah,
right?
there's obviously some kind of
There's definitely a grey.
background beef there, and they're just fucking
You can clench your fist without being aggressive.
yeah.
A thumb war isn't inherently aggressive.
Where is a war?
It's thoughts and prayers. But yeah, you could clench your fists and not necessarily be seen as aggressive. And then if somebody taunts you at that point, I would say that they are somewhat
provoking.
responsible, somewhat provocative. Yeah. We'd only closed our pub at 11, so they were only there for like half an hour. He then walked off and was punching the walls and kicking them.
Who? What? Who? The
Staff member. So the staff member was like, I thought he was like, all right, then let's do this. It was like, no,
Yeah.
this the victim in this thing.
Yeah.
Got barred. Was like, yeah, you're gonna hit me then, aren't you? It's like, no, I'm gonna punch this wall.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong. Nothing actually bad happened apart from saying, what the fuck are you looking at?
Yeah.
I'd say that was
Yeah.
about it. And standing within 11 yards.
They haven't just kind of just met.
Yeah, and they know each other.
This guy hasn't hired a waiter that starts on people.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think.
Yeah, this sounds a bit. I'm going to blame the
One-sided.
victim.
It sounds very one-sided.
It sounds like there might be another plot at play. So it could just be trying to fuck over another pub or personal thing between him and the waiter. And if you're barred from there because you incite violence,
Yeah.
maybe so. But we don't have all the facts.
Yeah.
In other Stoke news, a mum has paid tribute to her amazing 21-year-old son after he died at a sleepover.
Oh God.
Amazing. I just found the headline quite funny. Amazing. Just like, he's amazing. He died at a sleepover. It just sounds like it's being, but the way that it was written sounds positive.
Yeah. Oh, his greatest achievement.
Yeah.
Dying through the second verse of Kumbaya.
Was he on the swim team? No.
Yeah.
Was he on did he chess champion? No. He just died when other people slept.
Yeah. Yeah.
Tragic story.
He stayed up watching cartoons and choked on some M&Ms. Hero.
We actually do weird stuff at sleepovers.
He was 21.
21-year-old
Imagine
son.
that.
Yeah, he was an epileptic, so he had a seizure.
Oh, okay.
So tragic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
just weird news highlight.
Amazing.
Just amazing. We used to do weird stuff at sleepovers. I don't know why. I think when I was growing up, it was kind of like the age of when college pranks and that was starting to become more televised and, wacky stuff. So like we would set fire to tires in the garden and then paint the charred glass the charred grass green. Just paint it green. And then like, it was around a mate's house. We were set fire to his tire swing. And we thought, if we paint the grass green, and it was in a thing of like, we know this doesn't cover it up.
Yeah.
But it feels like the right end to this story. Because like, if you come home and your tire swing's gone and there's a load of leaves missing from above it because it was on fire. And it's just like, where's all our green paint gone?
Yeah.
Paint that grass.
They do that for the Olympics, don't they?
Paint the grass.
Yeah, when there's like a hosting country, and if there's like a drought on or something like that. I know they did it in China. All the grass verges, like beside the roads leading like through the Olympic Village and all that, they painted them all green, like spray painted them.
Well, I guess if you're going to be on television, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't think we were expecting to get the TV deal.
It's just it's next level to be like decorating the world,
Changing nature.
Yeah.
Put this on. Deal with it. Yeah. I'd say, I guess, with house pride. I don't know. It's a weird one. For people with too much time. I guess.
What, painting grass?
No, like cleaning your house. Just like it's like someone's coming round. I mean, everyone's got it a little bit of like, I need to clean up before someone comes round.
Yeah.
But like, I think there's people who have it more than others.
Yeah.
And it feels like it's that weird. I guess it's a parental shame.
Yeah.
Like the usual one is my mother would kill me if I'd let someone in the house like this kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think I always feel like that's kind of a go-to because you shouldn't care what other people think about your flaw.
I guess. Yeah.
You know, just get over it, I guess.
I don't know.
What I mean?
I think in some in some aspects it's kind of a sign of respect.
That your flaw's clean.
No, that you're wanting to make a good impression for your visitors.
And you feel like your personality won't be enough. It's all about that flaw.
I feel like it's just everything as a whole. Like
This flaw's a state. What are you trying to say?
I've had to move everything so you could fit in.
Fit in. Thanks. Diabetes.
So anybody could fit in.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it just feels. I think a lot of people draw a lot of their confidence from their surroundings. I guess that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like I know people who will clean infinitely.
Yeah, I know those,
stress.
and I've never been at all like that bad. I like a place to feel lived in, but not cluttered, I guess.
So that £1 house that burnt down, that's not as cluttered anymore.
No.
It was lived in a while ago, but you can't tell because of all the charred walls.
All the stuff's burnt down. So
everyone's dead.
yeah, but the floor is a bit of a mess. But give it a vacuum.
Give it a vacuum.
Bit of
and
air freshener.
Scrape.
Yeah.
Get a Glade air freshener.
Yeah.
It'll be fine. In other news, 2 New Jersey students face criminal charges after their classmate was seriously injured during the Skullbreaker Challenge.
How on earth did that happen?
So we've had a few of these, right? Of like, there was the condom.
Is this still Stoke news?
Oh, this is America.
Oh, okay.
New Jersey students, sorry.
Right.
I did try and jazz it up a little bit. We had the condom challenge at one point years ago, which was you snorted a condom and pulled it out your mouth.
Oh, yeah.
And people were suffocating to death for some reason.
Well, just let them do it, man. Just all the time. The answer is just let them carry on.
If it's adults, you go, yeah, sure. But if it's kids, you go,
you should know better.
Don't kill all the
better,
kids.
but yeah,
like a 7-year-old.
The
kid
Tide
snorting
Pod
a
challenge,
condom.
that was a thing.
Yeah,
eating
eat your
washing detergent.
Yeah.
Fucking stupid.
The other one was the I think it was I can't remember what it was called, but it was where you sprayed deodorant on your arm
And set it on fire.
No,
Was
just
that
the
a thing?
cold.
Just until
The cold burns you.
Yeah.
Nah.
Smart.
And now there's the Skullbreaker Challenge,
Which is
3 people.
okay.
One of them is unknown, that doesn't know what's going on. They're stood in the middle of the 3 people.
Oh god.
Then all 3 agree to jump in the air for some reason.
Okay.
The one in the middle jumps in the air, and the other 2 kick their feet away, and their face plant on the concrete. It's the Skullbreaker Challenge. Can
That's
you
not
kill
a
your
challenge.
friend? First one to kill most of their friends wins.
Why is that? That's not remotely challenging. It's painful.
Well, you got to get that timing right on that kick. That's the challenge.
Kick your mate.
Kick Mate,
challenge.
smash his face into concrete. The challenge has been recorded and shared on social media platform TikTok. So TikTok, who's famous for apparently paedophilia. I wasn't aware of this, but I guess all social media is paedophilia.
Any platform that
used by teens.
encourages teens to dance. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess so. Lots of karaoke and not mime, but they'll reenact films and television scenes by it being dubbed over them while they do it. And just like vlogs, whatever. Yeah. People doing very strange vlogs. And people kicking, giving their friends brain damage. Stacey Schenker of Cherry Hill said she and her husband had never heard of the game until it sent their 13-year-old son to hospital in January with a major concussion.
Yeah.
As the hospital ran tests on the boy, the school called Schenker's husband to tell him that the child had been injured in the Skullbreaker challenge. Why'd you have to tell him? Well, you're going to be proud. Yeah. He broke his face in the Skullbreaker challenge. Is he okay? The game has resulted in some injuries, says the article.
Well, yeah, you're talking about one.
Yes. Yes, it has. So a little bit further away from Stoke, we went to America, New Jersey, and now we're going to pop into Tijuana, just to give a nice mix of, what else is going on in the world.
All right.
In Tijuana, Mexico, a young woman was obsessively stalked, even after death.
Was he wearing tracksuit bottoms?
He wasn't yelling. He was just following her grave. Like there's stalking and then there's stalking. If you're stalking someone who can move,
like that seems a bit boring. Just standing in a graveyard,
just waiting. She'll move now.
Yeah,
she'll move in a minute. Apparently, he stalked her murder case, so he kept on following the police around as they were trying to solve it.
Does that not seem a little bit suspicious?
I don't know. The man was obsessed with Marbella Valdez. He sent her gifts, bought food for her friends. That's a weird obsession. Prosecutors said he even planted a tracking device on her car. If you bought a Twix for someone's friend, are you stalking them?
I bought your friend a chicken.
Love me! And when the 20-year-old law student's body, beaten, bound, and strangled, was found at a Tijuana garbage dump, he approached the police to demand the case be solved. He turned up at her funeral bearing a floral arrangement and wearing a t-shirt with her photograph on it. I don't know why, but that's such a great, weird thing to do. Turn up at someone's funeral with them on your t-shirt,
and when no one else knows who you are.
That's Debbie's stalker. How can you tell? It also read,
she leaves behind a husband, a beloved son, and in Sharpie, and me, and Dave.
Yeah. So it had a photograph of her on it and the feminist slogan, "Not one more woman," printed on it.
Not another
one. A week later, he was arrested and charged with her murder.
Oh, God.
I like that it was a week later. They were like, it can't be that can't be real.
Yeah.
He's obviously derangedly obsessed with her and probably murdered her. Now he is he's wearing her skin on his t-shirt in digital form.
Yeah.
So just
so
a week
strange.
Later. Debbie! Fight with Debbie. Okay, so half an hour in. We are
You're running out of stuff.
No, that was the warm-up.
Oh, right.
For I've got this is very, very unprepared. Let's see if I can find it real quick.
Feel good story.
No, I find this really funny.
All right. What's new?
I don't think it's
How many people died?
I want to explain that it's the wording of the article, because the actual subject matter is obviously we've already mentioned it briefly, but it's something that I think I just find quite interesting. And the way that there's a certain way that people tell stories, isn't there?
Yeah.
And each person who tells a story tells it in a different way.
Yeah.
I found this one interesting.
Okay.
Every Friday night, Richard Bland, great name.
Dick Bland.
Great. Yeah, Richard Bland. And I was going to change the name, but I realised that I'm reading out an article.
Yeah.
You could just Google what I'm saying and find out everything.
Yeah.
But Richard Bland and his wife Sue relived the moment they were told their son had killed himself.
Oh.
So they put the lights on, open up the curtains, and before they reimagine what it was like.
Put the
hear
T-shirt
news.
on with his face on it.
Not another son. Father of one, Andrew Bland, aged 31, took his own life 7 years ago at a time when he was about to move back home to live with his parents. So to make it worse, he was given the option of moving back in with his parents or killing himself.
Springtime.
But instead of welcoming home their son, Richard and Sue received a knock on their door from two police officers who informed them that Andrew was dead. They're like, son's coming home, knock, knock, he's dead. Oh, no. And I want to take a breath now.
Yeah.
I think that suicide is a very fascinating thing, but it's one of those truly traumatic experiences for those around you, I think.
Yeah.
Because there's a whole weird. I mean, I had. And it's a weird one because people feel like they could have done something.
Yeah.
And while that may be true, I think it's the aversion of that knowledge. Because I remember I find it interesting how people talk, and I find it interesting. Like, I've got a lot of friends who have got a lot of either anxiety issues or depression issues, and I've always found it very interesting just to to talk about it in a very normal way. So, like, I've had friends. I had a friend growing up who liked to cut himself, and I think that he was doing it. He was showing me to try and shock me in some way.
Right.
But I decided to season him, like he was cutting a pork belly. So he had like a Stanley knife, and he cut like a tree in his chest.
Oh.
So I just sprinkled it with a bit of salt and pepper. Just because I could, and that's my instinctive reaction. Partly because I think whenever people try and manipulate me into reacting a certain way, I just I hate. I've been manipulated. People have tried to manipulate me a lot in my life. So I think my default reaction is like, nope.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, nope. Do you want to buy a store card? Nope.
Nope.
Just anything like that. So like, yeah, when people try and shock me or they're opening up about something, I think that a lot of people are expecting oh my God, and then they say Caroline Flack or something, whatever. They talk about whatever pop culture saying you meant to say at that point. And I've always find it more interesting to treat it as if it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
And just joke about it, chat about it, and just try and open up a dialogue about the situation that's going on, hence the salt and pepper.
Yeah. Dialogue.
Yeah. So I find that kind of stuff interesting, and I've found... So when I've experienced similar thing, not cutting myself or anything, but when I've talked about, I talked about on the podcast about how I watched a man die in the street. Like,
the car thing.
Yeah, like in a couple of ways where there wasn't much of his face left because it was full of windshield. And it was just like, it's a truly horrific experience. But I find it interesting the amount of people who do not remember me talking to them about that incident, because I'll talk about it in a normal way.
Yeah.
But if anyone else was, like, if somebody ever talks about suicide around me, I'll always just just because you're talking about suicide, I feel obligated to ask, is everything okay? All that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think because the way I tell it or whatever, it's treated as normal, which it is. But I find it interesting how, there's just so many people like, you never spoke to me about that. If you talked to me about that, I would have asked some questions. You know, but as in like, because witnessing somebody die before your eyes is quite a notably emotionally traumatic experience.
It's definitely not an everyday.
Yeah, you don't want to have it like a drive-through
unless
experience.
You're a nurse or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, there's this feeling that like, no, you didn't talk to me about that because I would have engaged and supported
I would have
in
been
someone.
a better person.
Yeah, exactly.
if you'd done that. And I'm
Exactly.
definitely a good person, so that didn't
and
happen.
that's what the effect. That's what the trauma of suicide is that people will think that if they had known something was going on, they would have intervened in some way. And I think that most people actively don't, either not out of vindictiveness, but just they don't pick up on it, or they don't want to search that out.
Yeah.
And that's why you have certain advocates for certain things. The same as something, lots of diseases and everything, it'll be more understandable by people who've had more experience with it. And if somebody will be more actively engaged with somebody if they've experienced that kind of badness in their life.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the problem, the real trauma about suicide is that, people will think, I would have done something. And then I think the real thing is the knowledge that they knew something and they didn't do anything about it. So suicide's very bad.
If you want to go back and listen to
Fascinating.
the car accident story, I think it's Bad Juju.
Yeah. Something bad juju.
That was the episode name, I think.
Yeah, that was just like, well, the nightmares are still real. It was a weird week.
Yeah. Keep talking.
But yeah, so the what? The blue light.
You're blue.
I'm blue.
Very blue.
Very blue. Overexposed. But it's also hilarious when people try and tell stories about it.
Yeah.
So I'm not making fun of the fact that this man unfortunately went to the point. And I was having a conversation with somebody about euthanasia.
Yeah.
And they were like, I'm all for euthanasia in all regards. And I was like, well, that seems okay. So if I was to kill myself, would you be in full support of that? They're like, oh, well, that's different.
Yeah.
It's like, so not in all of its forms. There's definitely some checkpoints and checks and measures that need to be done, right?
Yeah.
They're like, oh no, I think anybody should be able to choose to end their own life. But euthanasia and suicide are treated differently.
Yeah.
Even with the stipulation of the doctor has no choice in it. Yeah, you order a euthanasia and somebody comes and kills you. Somehow that's more accepted in society than you committing suicide.
Yeah.
So suicide's a very real thing, and it's one thing that I'm growing more and more thinking. I've been trying to think of, like, if I was to do some kind of charitable work more than what I'm currently doing, I'd probably look into more towards that.
Yeah.
Because it's something like, if you think about this podcast, I think that there are probably some people who listen to it who would benefit from listening to it just by having the company of conversation.
Yeah.
And talking about things that, not to be cliche, but you're not meant to talk about, or you're not meant to laugh at.
Yeah.
The darker side of things. And as we embrace the darker side of things, people who are experiencing the darker side of things, I think, won't be triggered by it. I think they'll embrace it.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like
that'd be something
gallows
I'd look
humor,
into.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Like they always say, like, soldiers have a really fucked up sense of humor because you kind of have to deal with the realities of what you're doing.
Yeah.
And like Rogan's always said, like, fighters have a fucked up sense of humor because, like, there is like a darkness in yourself that you have to kind of find in order to be successful at that.
Well, I think there's a resistance to succumb to the realities of the darker side of life.
Yeah.
Like this, like, and it's classic in like religions and stuff. Don't have sex before you're married because you don't want to tempt yourself into the darker side of things.
Yeah.
You know, don't be jealous of the cow next door. Is it the ox next door? Don't be
Thou
jealous
shalt
of that
not
ox.
covet thy neighbour's ox.
Yeah.
Or something.
Don't envy the ox.
Yeah.
I guess.
Don't be jealous of his cow.
Yeah. Because it will tempt you into the darker side of emotions and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
That is a
there's
dark cow. Evil cow.
evil. So I think there's a temptation not to dive into it.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, some people can't deny the real world for very long. And so you get into this place, and then suddenly you're in the bad place. You've got the bad emotions, the dark stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, this is just the real. You've leveled up. This is real world.
Yeah.
This is, Dark Souls +1, and then you got to keep on going forward. So anyway, back to the suicide.
Oh yeah, good.
Richard says the news destroyed his family, and to this day they leave a light on at night for their son. Which
How long ago was this?
7 years, I think. So like maybe that light is the cause of all this climate
I was
change.
going to say, not doing his bit for the planet.
No, it's melting all the ice caps.
Yeah. Maybe
Cheers.
Maybe
Bland.
if you sit in the dark, then you can turn that one on to compensate.
Maybe. The first thing you do is telephone everyone. Hey! Hey, my son's dead. Again, just the way it was written. The first thing you do is telephone everybody.
Yeah.
It's like not like the first sad thing you do or the first hard thing you do is telephone everybody. You could just word it differently to change the message, but to me it sounds like you're doing it for joy. Our youngest son couldn't cope with it. In the end, the police took me to him to calm him down. They couldn't understand why they did it. And that's the other thing I think about suicide as well, is like nobody understands the rational reason why somebody would commit suicide. And that's usually because there is no rational reason. It's an impulsive reason, is what I've understood.
Yeah, well, they always say
issue.
like most people who attempt suicide and fail generally don't try it again because it is like an impulsive kind of thing.
And the whole attention-seeking aspect of it, I've known people who have certainly done that.
Yeah,
but I
I
feel like it's more of a young thing.
Yeah, I have as well, but in reality, when you analyze the situation, it never seems like it was a serious attempt.
Yeah.
Like, it seems like if you were serious about this, like, you would know that wasn't going to work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do someone who, in quotes, overdosed by taking one more paracetamol than they were meant to that day.
Yeah.
And they didn't cut their wrists. They kind of scraped them a little bit.
Grazed them, yeah.
And it was like, and obviously it was a cry for help, but it was a cry for attention.
Yeah.
Which is its own thing. I'm not shitting on that.
That's the thing. Like that, it can be just as serious.
Yeah.
Like it can. It's definitely in a lot of situations something that needs addressing.
But I think there's a thing where
different
if people attempt it and fail and don't do it again, a lot of people see them as attention seekers, and it's like, oh, you were just doing it for attention then, because otherwise you'd do it again, right? It's like, it's a weird attitude to take.
Well, no, when I jumped off the bridge, I was expecting to die.
Yeah, when I dived out of that plane and landed on that fire ant's nest without opening my parachute, I thought I was dead.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just
amazing what you could live through.
Impulsive decision. Friends with the ants now. But yeah, it's like it's exactly the same impulse as I've experienced when your hormones just get too high.
Yeah.
You know, if you're really testosteroned up and sexually active, you just like your brain just rationalizes things very differently.
Yeah.
Somebody walking down the street can mean different things to the same person depending on their level of sexual awakenedness. No, like their build up, how they're feeling, well, their hormones are like, their hormone levels will mean different things, and they'll be impulsive, like, oh, I could just go talk to her, right?
You just sort of, you sort of venture more and more into your kind of like animalistic side, I guess.
Maybe, but yeah, it's instinct. Brain. Yeah, just go, no rational thought. So I believe that most suicides are irrational thought, impulse, emotional, instinctive things that don't make sense. Like there's like, oh, if I kill myself, then I don't have to go on holiday.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I really don't want to go on holiday. Bang! Or whatever, you know. So people try to make sense of it. It's impossible. And that's a struggle in itself, because that's step one into understand what happened. Now that I understand what happened, how could I have helped? And it leads in an endless loop of nonsense that kind of gets people stuck. So it's tragedy. But yeah, you call everyone. That night, we didn't sleep. We didn't go to bed for 2 months. Don't boast. Everyone wants more time in the day.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Like we that's not possible.
No. Well, they didn't go to bed for 2 months. They just slept on the sofa.
Oh,
again,
I've done that.
Don't boast. Yeah, you just didn't want to move your clothes.
Yeah,
my clothes are sleeping. In
no
the
one
bed
had
today.
to die.
Didn't ask for a sacrifice. This is the weird part. If he had died in a car crash or had a heart attack, or I don't know, even been shot and murdered, you can understand it. I could understand if my son was shot, murdered, car crash, heart attack. Why did he have to kill himself?
Yeah.
That's less understandable. You can't understand or accept him killing himself.
I wish he died a different way.
I wish he was murdered by friends. I wish he went to Tijuana, met a lovely obsessive stalker.
Yeah.
Who wore his picture of his face on his t-shirt. And that's how it happened. You get very angry. If I had known how he felt, I would have dragged him home and locked him up in the house.
Well, that's not going to fucking help, is it?
I've heard that a lot as well, of like family members talking about it. They go like, "Oh, if you've got suicidal thoughts, we'll just take you."
He's not on drugs. Like he doesn't. He doesn't need to, like a cold turkey situation. It's like, oh, you're feeling suicide, cold turkey from death. Like just
lock you in this room for a bit.
Yeah. Work with Epstein.
It's that nice. It's trying to work out trying to rationalize that thought and how you would help.
Yeah.
And the unfortunate thing is, I think one, you have to accept that you can't necessarily help everybody.
Yeah.
And two, it's not in your control. I guess they're kind of the same thing, but the second one's a bit more like, it's not in your control. You can maybe help and influence, but if you try and control it, I believe that could potentially make it worse.
Yeah.
Maybe it could make it better. If you, I don't know, handcuff someone to a bed for a month, they might not kill themselves within that month, or lock someone in their room, but more about being friendly and intervening and chatting to people. You know, it seems more of a thing. Every Friday, we relive it. There are a few little noises around the house, and you think, Andrew, do I dread Fridays? If you were to ask me at 5 p.m., I'd say yes.
What's significant about Fridays?
It was a Friday when they found out.
Oh, you can't be fucked off every Friday.
If you asked him at 5 p.m., he'd say yes.
Just have a beer. Like, just do...
Have a drink and shut the fuck up. No, imagine
every Friday. I don't understand. Like, I dread this day, like this date. Like, but every Friday.
Well, I think the weekend special, isn't it? Because they were preparing for the weekend. They were making plans for the weekend. I imagine to include him. So, like, as it's approaching, and they're like, "What should we do this week?" Oh, you know, it just relives that. It's almost like ritualistic. Where
I'm shitting on a guy that's lost his son.
Like I say, it's not. It really is just the way this article's read. Do I dread Fridays? If you were to ask me at 5 p.m., I'd say yes. 6 p.m., I might say no.
I'm all right. Happy hour.
4 p.m., might say no. So I'm assuming they knocked on the door at 5 p.m.
Yeah.
So maybe that's the thing. If you ask my
no
wife,
one's gonna knock again, are they?
He's not going to kill himself twice.
Well, you haven't got any other kids.
Oh yeah, they got a younger son who's traumatized by the whole thing. So if you ask this guy at 5 p.m, he might say yes, he does dread it. But if you ask his wife, she'd say she dreads every minute. So he's openly stating that his wife is more grief-stricken, I guess.
How long ago was it?
Pride. 7 years.
Wow.
So, but I imagine that, I mean, I've had relatives pass away and they still kind of hit me from time to time.
Yeah.
Depends how close you are. And I imagine most people are close to their children.
That's the thing. I cannot empathize with people who've got kids. I cannot empathize with that relationship. I don't have it. I don't understand it. So I don't really want to comment on whether that is or isn't true. You know what? Like grief is different for everyone, I guess.
Yeah, it's different for everyone, I think. He also goes on to say, when we heard what happened, there was a light on in the hall, and that has been on every night since. We won't turn it off in case Andrew wants to come home. I don't understand why they've written that. Because I can understand, I'm not mocking the act of ritualistic to try and keep a memory alive, or the feeling of if I turn off this light now, then it's over, or something like that. So how you deal with it, it's just weird to include it. I don't think they're mocking them. I think they're trying to get people to go, "Oh."
Yeah.
And they should have gone, "Oh," when their son killed himself.
Yeah.
Richard partly blames Andrew's death on the financial crash of 2008.
What? Why?
The economy.
What? Did he lose his job? Or
yeah, I think a lot of the family, the father ran a thriving family business, and they all worked for the family business.
Right.
And then the company collapsed. So I guess weren't around family members all the time. Didn't have maybe didn't have the same job or whatever.
Yeah.
Suicide's bad. The loss of Andrew was compounded 4 years later when Richard lost a close friend to suicide, Peter Collins, a Red Arrows pilot and veteran of the Falklands War, who took his own life in 2016 at the age of 62. Richard said, Pete had knocked on our door. He said, "Tell me about Andrew's death, because I feel like doing it."
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like I when I read that, I felt like he was asking about his struggle with suicide.
Yeah.
But when I read it just now, it feels like, how did he kill himself? Because I'm tempted.
Yeah.
He's a fucking pilot. I'm sure he could figure out a way to kill himself
He could
as
kill
an
himself
engineer,
in a
not
very
as a
dramatic way.
yeah.
Yeah.
I took him in. He stayed with us for 3 or 4 weeks. We looked after him and tried to help him. But he killed himself in a hotel room in Chester. That was a massive, massive blow. I couldn't put it into words.
Which
I would imagine the second suicide that you know. Because
Yeah.
that compounds, completely compounds is the right word. Compounds that feeling of why did my first suicide person do it and how could I have helped?
Yeah.
I won't let it happen again. And then like your best mate does it. And you're like, why didn't I see the second time?
Yeah.
And oh my God.
like one is bad
Horrific
enough.
situation.
Like a second one, like your electricity bill's going through the fucking roof at that point.
Yeah, so many lights. Better get solar power if all your friends are going to murder themselves. You don't murder yourself, do you?
No.
I feel like you could.
Because murder is against the will, isn't it?
Yeah.
You can't kill yourself against your will.
But like accidental death.
But you're not killing
an
yourself
accident.
at that point. You're dying.
an
You're just
accidental
dying.
death.
Killing yourself seems purposeful,
Yeah.
right?
What about like a golfer?
Yeah.
You know, like the Tom and Jerry cartoons, he hits the ball, it hits a rock and it bounces back.
Okay.
Is that murdering yourself? Yes. It's the intention of killing yourself, but yeah. I feel like murder's more aggressive than suicide. I think that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If you went on an axe-wielding maniac spree after yourself, I feel like that would be murder,
Yeah.
not suicide.
Yeah.
You can't suicide yourself with an axe. That's murder. Gavel. Can't suicide with an axe. There we go. It has been decreed. In other news, bit lighter now.
Yeah.
That one wasn't very good. That one was a bit weird. There's a whole thing about true crime. I'll finish on this to keep it light.
All right.
Peter Andre.
Oh,
You know
God.
Peter Andre.
Yeah, good old Pete.
Famously short.
Leave a light on for Pete.
I worked with someone who was his guitarist. And it was really weird.
I didn't know he knew anyone that could play music.
Yeah, he used to like perform on like TV and used to have like the guy I worked with in the background with the guitar and it's Peter Andre in front singing whatever the fuck.
Great.
But like, I think I've mentioned this before, but yeah, he was like this. I was friends with him. Like I worked in a bakery in between years of university and just, like he was like, this was going on during they were having this massive public divorce, Jordan and Peter Andre. So he was just there being like, you know, we should rehearse, guys.
Yeah.
You know, you're just getting paid and being like, yeah, just kind of chilling out. Yeah. But yeah, he has denied refusing to touch fans over coronavirus fears.
Okay.
So he's not touching, he is touching fans,
Right.
which is apparently a positive thing, or he's refusing, he's saying, I'm not touching fans, but it's not because of coronavirus.
Why does it matter either way?
Touch your fans. Feels weird, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've kissed Graham Norton.
People have been sued for less.
Really? Oh, yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Larceny. What is larceny?
Stealing.
Is that because of lasso?
I don't know.
Lassoing. No, but it's weird to touch fans. Yeah, but yeah, in a bookstore when I was walking around.
Why does
with
it
some
matter
friends.
why you don't want to touch people that you don't know?
Well, he sells merchandise and, you know, stuff, I guess.
So what?
It's Peter Andre. Apparently he's from Iceland. I don't know if
I
that's
thought
real.
he was from Australia.
Yeah. Why do I think Peter Andre's from Iceland? I saw
Did
a
he
map.
work for Iceland?
Yes. No, I saw a map of the world.
Yeah.
And it was a map of the world descriptors.
Oh, right.
So it'd be like Germans would be like beer drinking, but it was all in terms of cunts. So there was like bitter cunts, bastard cunts, and there was Peter Andre cunts, where Iceland is. And yeah, I think he did a whole thing with Iceland. So
Yeah,
that makes sense.
that
now.
would make more
I
sense.
was like, I didn't know he's from Iceland. But yeah, I think people touching fans is weird. I think having fans is weird.
But
I think that must be surreal. And
Yeah.
if they want you to touch them.
Yeah.
I mean,
definitely.
I drank a bottle of water that was set aside for Corey Taylor that
Yeah.
he never even touched. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is divine. Like, this is some kind of, you know, this was an entity. This had more
Yeah.
meaning. And it was just a bottle of water that the stagehands brought out.
Yeah.
And because I'm always at the front, I was just like, when they left, I was like, can I have that bottle of water, please? And they're like, yeah. I was like, cheers. This is God. Just walked away. But yeah, having fans, I think is especially, you know, I think I'm a weird fan when it comes to a lot of stuff. Like, I think if I was to meet somebody, I wouldn't react in the most, like, you know, you got, I know a lot of creepy fans of people who like, I just really want to have a photo with you.
Yeah.
You know, I've never really had that. Like,
No,
if you say you saw someone in the supermarket, there's people I know who'd be like, hi, can we have a photo? Or can you sign this?
I don't even think I'd go up to someone.
No, yeah.
Like, I find the whole thing a bit strange. Like, it's enough that they exist and that I appreciate what they do.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, with gigs and stuff, particularly now, it's become more prevalent because I guess the music industry, like, people need to make money in different ways. But all those, like, gold packages and everything are much more prevalent.
Yeah.
And they're actually quite affordable as far as gigs go.
Yeah,
but it's still something that I've never even been slightly tempted to do.
I've been tempted to do it a little bit, but it always feels like, it just feels strange.
Yeah.
I mean, when we saw Carl Kinane, I'm a big fan of Carl Kinane, great comedian, and went up to chat to him afterwards. And I was just like, I just want to say, like, I went up to him and said, look, I'm just a massive fan of you. You do great work. Please keep it up. Like, you're amazing. I just wanted you to know that you've got a fan that thinks that of you. And there's other people being like, trying to be like drinking buddies or trying to like get them on their show and stuff like that. And I was like, no, it just means something to me for you to know that there's positivity from your audience coming that way, from me coming towards you. It's been like, dude, you're just fucking amazing. I just feel better letting you know that. Yeah. Because like, we saw him once, we saw him another time, and I think he felt the show went really badly because like, he came out really crestfallen. And I forget the other comedian's name. He's an English comedian. Did what's the news show? It's like it's a satirical news show with Nish Kumar.
Okay.
I think Nish Kumar was like consoling him afterwards. So it might have been about the show, it might have been about something else.
Yeah.
But I think there's a point where most successful people, or you know, people that have fans, don't really know that they're doing a really good job or anything like that. So it's nice to throw that out. I
suppose it's whether you believe the feedback that you get.
Yeah, yeah.
Like if you've got like a couple of hundred people every night telling you you're awesome. Yeah. Like there's bound to be some doubts and being like, yeah, everybody says that, but I'm just not sure.
And then most people who work hard are usually motivated by not failing.
Yeah.
Like they say of comedians, like if the whole room's laughing but you see one person not laugh, that's what's burned into your mind. So like that's what they're motivated by. So be like, no, it's just, you know, give them a bit of support. But I'm the kind of guy that, you know, I'm a massive Schwarzenegger fan. I'd love to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger, but I'm not one of those, like, there was that event you can go up and shake his hand. Yeah. And I was like, that's not how I want to meet Arnold Schwarzenegger.
No. I want to meet him while I'm saving someone's life.
Yeah, or like you know, just out and about.
Yeah, at
just
the
to
gym.
Be like, yeah, it's great, whatever. Yeah, or just or professionally in some way.
Yeah,
I feel like that would be that's my idea of meeting someone.
Yeah.
If I bumped into Louis CK in an elevator, which I've thought about many times for some reason, he's just masturbating in the corner. No, it's like if I was to bump into him in an elevator, I would much rather enjoy experiencing some time shared with Louis CK. Yeah. Just like, you know, watching somebody does something that's questionable and we share a look. Yeah. I would value that much more than, hey, can we have a photo? Yeah. But I'd still be like, oh, dude, you're amazing.
It's also like, well, I never get the photo thing. And I've never been someone that chases autographs or anything like that. Yeah. Like, I don't... Is that for... Is the photograph for you? Because I'm guessing most of the time it's not. It's so that you can... Maybe. Publish it and put it online and whatever, and be like, look, see, I told you I did. I told you. Like, why does that matter?
It's like baby photos. Yeah. You know, parents take loads of baby photos of their children and they don't give a shit about 95% of them. But there's still a stockpile of those somewhere. And they go like, I've taken lots of photos of my children. Yeah. And I think
as is tradition.
Yeah. And I think it's just like, it's the same thing of like, I've got loads of autographs, but this is my best. Yeah. You know, and I've got this like trading cards or something.
It was done in a Sharpie.
Gorgeous. But yeah. So yeah, Peter Andre.
Didn't
either touch your fans or don't touch your fans. Oh, I kissed Graham Norton. I mentioned that and I should address it.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right.
When I was 17 or something like 18, okay. With the friend who I seasoned. Yeah. We was walking around and there was a
Did he have coronavirus?
No.
Oh, right.
Not at the time.
Okay.
What's the bookstore?
Webberley's?
No, the real one. There's the big Waterstones.
Waterstones.
Yeah, what the real one. The Waterstones, yeah, we were just walking around and there was like, Graham Norton will be here in 30 minutes. And we're like, that's pretty random. Let's be weird. So, yeah, he's had a book signing.
He's not scheduled to appear. We've just been following him.
We just did. Yeah. That stalker from Tijuana has given us the heads up.
Yeah.
He was doing like a book signing or something. So we were like, oh, let's queue. We were starved for fun. So we was like, let's put on weird accents and queue up and try and be creepy. I was like, can I kiss you? And he's like, on the cheek. I was like, okay. And it's like, I've kissed Graham Norton on the cheek. Now I'm 32.
Yeah.
And that's part of my legacy.
Yeah.
I can pass that down to my children. You know, your father kissed Graham Norton on the cheek once. Who's he? I don't know. He died from coronavirus. Oh, quick note. Do you know anybody who's affected by coronavirus?
No, not yet.
I know someone who's potentially
Ooh,
like a genuine possible threat.
nice.
So, and apparently there's a
Still just a strong flu.
well, it's killing a lot of people. But there's apparently a law, not a law, but if you are experiencing any flu-like symptoms, you're meant to call the NHS.
Oh, right.
And you're meant to put it on a register so that they can follow.
I've got the flu.
But like, my mate's not in England, but it's like he knows somebody whose like brother has contracted it.
Right.
So it's like, he hasn't met them, but it's been passed through food or whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And all that kind of stuff. And it's just like, that definitely seems quite surreal.
Yeah.
Keep on track of the coronavirus.
Yeah, but it's like swine flu was massive. And I know people who had swine flu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not the biggest killer, but I think it's worth a bit of serious taking, I guess.
Yeah.
Or because of bats. Apparently not a lot of people knew that. I thought it was
it was based. I think they found a patient zero or something like that, and he did a guy that had eaten a wild bat.
Yeah, bat soup, I think it was. Is like a big delicacy and a rare thing to eat in China.
Something.
Apparently that's what caught it.
Yeah.
Bat soup. Coronavirus.
Great.
So that's us. Yeah, Pete Andre, just go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Leave it there with him. And that's me.
All right.
Steve's collection of useless meanderings. Scum.
I wasn't feeling very ranty this week, so I don't actually know how good these are. It's only been a few days. I haven't built up that bile.
You got to keep it. You got to keep it up at 11.
Yeah, anger is the fuel. Salvador Dali, surrealist artist, clock enthusiast, and all-round eccentric prick, absolutely lost his stupid mind halfway through the screening of an art film in 1936 when he stood up and smashed the projector, screaming that the director of the film had stolen the idea from his subconscious.
This was in my unconscious mind.
Just legitimately
in
angry.
My thoughts.
That this guy was a thief.
I've had moments like that. Not that they've stolen it from my thoughts.
Oh, you read my mind.
But this like I've had that exact same thought in this exact same context.
Yeah.
I think it was Carl Kinane again.
Yeah.
I was talking with some people about, or writing stuff about terrorist attacks. I think it would be very different if the terrorists actually attacked someone like the Westboro Baptist Church people.
Yeah.
I think the social reaction would be very different.
Very different.
And like we were sat there watching him, he's like, oh, he's doing the same thing. And it's like, it's not that, I'm just saying that I had the same feeling of like, I had that exact same thought.
Yeah.
I wasn't angry about it.
It's like the 7
made it
billion
amazing.
people.
Yeah, yeah.
Like you're bound to, no one's a special, unique little flower. Like everyone's thoughts cross all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, like how many times if anybody uses Reddit or something like that, you'll see something posted and you'll be like, there's a funny thing about that. And then you'll go in to post the funny thing and find that 5 other people have posted the funny thing. It's like, yeah, because that's how brains work. Like a lot of people have a sense of humor and it'll jump to these common
you're
tropes.
quoting something that other people have seen.
Yeah.
If you made your own and it was the same, then it might be unique. But
Yeah. The tradition, this wasn't funny. This was just interesting.
Okay.
The traditional school bell to signal the beginning and end of lessons and break periods was introduced in the early 20th century to assimilate young pupils into the ways of factory life.
Yeah, yeah. That makes sense though, doesn't
It does make sense. I didn't know it was that kind of insidious. That's weird.
I'm not sure about insidious. Probably it could be beneficial. It is helping you get used to stuff.
Obey.
Obey the bell. Well, if you don't get paid.
It's like Pavlov's dog. It's just a bit weird.
Pavlov's dog sweating it out in a factory.
Fuck it out.
Not lunchtime or Jesus Christ. But yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff that they do at school to prepare you for certain jobs.
Yeah.
Like corporate office jobs.
Yeah.
Like there's so many. I've never really done them. But from what people have told me about them, it does feel very much like it's just secondary school.
Yeah.
Like it's the same thing, like everyone wearing a suit. You know, you're wearing a suit to prepare you for the working world.
Yeah.
It's like,
I've never worked in a
this is
cubicle,
stupid.
and I think if it ever came down to that, that would be the point where I'd probably end my life.
I got fired from that place for screaming because I was in a cubicle for too long.
Yeah.
And that was just temp work for 2 days.
It's bad for your health.
Yeah.
Like your mental health. Like people aren't meant to be like that.
Yeah, but there's definitely a school aspect of like go home and do your homework, go home and you know, prepare for work the next day or whatever it is.
Yeah, well the other thing
Self-responsibility.
was apparently that homework was introduced to get you compliant into working for longer than you actually have to.
But schools are only like, 7-hour days, 6-hour days.
Yeah. So like
5 hours.
you'll have to, this is your allotted time to work at school.
7-hour days.
But we're sending you home with this work for you to do in your time, and you will do it.
Yeah.
Like
yeah, I see them as a positive, I guess. I guess
Yeah.
you see them as a negative from your tone.
well, the thing is, like I definitely see it as
Work longer than you have to.
I definitely see it as a positive these days, because it can it can encourage, what's the word, sort of self-discipline. Because I was someone at school that never did homework. Like I would like rush it like either the night before or the morning of. Like I never like copied other people's or that stuff, but I never really committed myself to it.
I came up with long, elaborate stories as to why I haven't done the homework.
Yeah.
I guess maybe that's why I like to tell stories.
Yeah. If there
I was stuck behind a tractor, so I couldn't do that homework. What does that mean? Well, I'll go into it if you want.
Yeah.
But it's a long story.
Yeah. It was a bit odd. The tractor was wearing a shirt with my face on it.
Wouldn't leave me alone. Faked my own death, but turns out he murdered me. So.
Early depictions and paintings and sculptures of our Lord and Saviour Jesus Christ performing his little miracles often included him using a magic wand.
Expelliarmus, whatever it is. Yeah.
They pictured Jesus, the magician.
And he cleft her in twain. No, yeah, I guess that could make sense. People did. Well, I'd say this, but this is another one of those things that I think was debunked. It was like people did believe actively in witches. Like I think it was only that small rural town of Salem in America that was like the main, where that's like, oh, the witch trials. And it's like, oh, there was like 6 or 3.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like been dramatized as this big whole thing.
There were European witch trials, but it took a long time. Like there was people believed in witches, or like it was small sects of people that believed in witches, but for a long time, the kind of the big religious outfits that later on led the witch trials and that, they just kind of brushed it aside and be like, nah, it's all just nonsense.
That's nonsense. This is magic.
Like it's not a threat. It's not a problem. And then I can't remember what it was that caused the uprising, but like eventually they started. The religious what's it called?
Crusade.
I guess I can't remember the word. I can't remember the word I'm thinking of. But yeah, they eventually started persecuting people and trialing for witches and stuff. But for a long time, it was just it was just considered nonsense. It wasn't something that was considered harmful.
That witch casting a spell is nonsense. This guy can turn water into wine. He's a legend.
Yeah, abracajesus.
See, I guess it could make sense to try if that was more socially acceptable. Now it's just Jesus looking kind of, sympathetic.
Forlorn. Yeah.
Oh.
Leave a light on for Jesus.
Just him just in the corner, just dismissing you. Like, oh, the blessings of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just slowly pulling hankies out of his sleeve. There is a rare eating disorder called Gourmand syndrome, which causes the sufferer to become obsessed with gourmet food and fine dining.
That's a disorder.
It's an
Obsessed, I
eating
guess.
disorder, rare eating disorder, in which you become
In order
obsessed.
for it to be an eating disorder, you must be unable to stop yourself from eating
Yeah.
in some way.
Yeah.
Right? So maybe, I guess that makes sense. And then you're just addicted to...
Like you'll gorge
a
yourself
certain
like the
thing.
same as you would if you had like a different what is it? I know the starving one. What's the gorging one?
Yeah.
I can't
It's one of
remember.
them.
Yeah. But it's that except you'll only have like
Caviar.
Peking duck. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just financed,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rich people's eating disorders.
I've got no desire to eat caviar.
No.
Not because of what it is. It just doesn't sound very nice.
Well, it's one of those things that seems to exist because it's rare. Like it's,
Yeah, it's like, and it's just portrayed as some kind of luxury. Like, what are those the gold flake? You've got them. They're like, I think they're nuts, balls, spiky Ferrero Rochers.
Oh yeah, they're not
Like-
rare.
No, but they're like
Get 'em in
they're
Aldi.
like advertised as like this exceptionally classy food.
Oh yeah, that's just
And if-
marketing though.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I think that's the same thing with caviar. Is it's
Yeah.
just that it's these lovely poppy eggs or whatever they are. And it's just like, just people perceive them as one in one way, and you go, it's all just pre-shit.
Yeah,
So just eat
yeah,
it.
it all comes out the same way.
Yeah, you need sustenance. You'll get more sustenance from some, but pretty much just eat a varied diet. Don't just eat weird eggs.
Yeah,
Was the other Fabergé eggs? I can't remember if they were real or if they were jewelry. I can't remember.
Fabergé eggs were like them.
There's like giant crystallized and gemmed eggs, weren't they?
Yeah, they were
But
like
you could eat them.
They were
Or was
like
that just the
no,
Simpsons?
they were porcelain.
Right.
I only ever remember because of
You tried to eat one once and
No.
broke your teeth.
Bleeding Gums Murphy. He had like an addiction to buying Fabergé eggs.
That's where I got it from.
Yeah.
But they would, Cussy the Clown would pop
Smash
it and
Oh right,
cook them.
yeah. No,
So
that was
that's
a
where I
joke.
got it from.
Yeah,
That's
No,
another
they were
joke
just-
that I missed.
they were just-
Peter Andres
'cause
from
you were-
Iceland. Krusty the Clown can't eat a Fabergé egg.
Yeah. And finally, during one of their global weapons drives in 1925, the charitable bunch and the IRA approached the USSR in search of a donation. Upon hearing out the request of their delegate, the USSR representatives asked him how many bishops they've killed. When the IRA said that they hadn't killed any, the USSR said, "You people aren't serious at all."
We've killed priests. Priests are not bishops. I've killed priests.
I cannot win chess with a priest.
Oh yeah, how many have you killed? Oh, not many. Oh, fuck off then. IRA's a weird one.
Yeah.
It's always something that's kind of interested to me. Apparently I had a family member who was a member. Because I've got quite a large...
A member of the IRA.
yeah. Not
I
like
was-
a clever man.
Yeah.
Just like... and it's like one of those... Like he was one of my cousins or uncles or something.
Yeah.
And it was just like, I've got a very large Irish family that I don't really know very well. But I always find the IRA just really strange and interesting because it's one of those more recent, I believe they deemed themselves as a terrorist group. I don't think it's like derogatory. They car bombed people. And while they may see it differently, I think it's one of those things I've always wanted to look into a little bit more.
Yeah.
Just find it interesting. Partly because it's how it's perceived. Like the IRA have been perceived as heroes by America because America, I think, funded a lot of the IRA. As in the IRA would go over to fundraise in America very publicly.
Yeah.
Like go to the Democratic National Party and like fundraise and try and get money. And then they'd come over here and bomb people. And it's just like it's one of those, another weird American thing.
Yeah. That's the
Find
thing.
it
I
on-
only ever remember them as terrorists.
Yeah. But then, was it Sinn Féin? I can't remember what side of the fence they were.
I don't know anything about the island dispute or anything. And like I've no idea what the history is there. I
Yeah.
know it's all very complicated.
Yeah.
Like,
But
it's
one of those things
like
I'm
the whole
interested in.
Palestine-Israel thing. It's like I don't know what's going on. I've no idea, and I'm not going to comment on it because I have
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah, no opinions on the IRA stuff
Yeah.
because I don't know anything about it as well. But it's one of those things that just interests me because it's so recent.
Yeah,
And yeah, I've read some stuff that reference it, and I'm just like, oh, it'd be interesting to get to know that. It'd be a weird hobby, learning about the history of the IRA. I'm sure that won't flag me on any sites or anything. Time to get a IP hider thing.
Yeah, get a.
Start reading up.
I got one of those.
Yeah,
Surfshark.
you use it?
Yeah. Use it quite often.
I think I use it for for at least one site that we both use.
Yeah,
But I don't really use it for anything else.
I
tried it for Netflix once when I was around someone's house to watch Dirty Grandpa because he hadn't seen it.
Oh right,
I don't
okay.
remember who it was, but it was somewhere.
Yeah.
And yeah, it didn't really work. But you got all these fancy ones now. Sponsor us. We're on the internet.
Yeah. I had a bunch of other stuff that hasn't synced, so I don't know how to.
Hasn't synced.
Well, I wrote it up on there and it should have popped up on here, but it hasn't.
Oh.
So I don't really know what to do. I can't read it.
Well, I'm at Nick Snip.
I'm at Sigget Steve.
Let's go through with it. Yeah, we're at Pulling Teeth Pod on Twitter and Instagram.
Yeah, you can email us at wisdom@pullingteethpodcast.com. You can find us at facebook.com/pullingteethpodcast, and you can find all of the everything everywhere on pullingteethpodcast.com.
Yes.
Yeah.
And yeah.
And if you listen to this, watch us on YouTube. If you're watching us on YouTube, listen to it.
like and subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was thinking maybe we should start doing that at the top as well. We discussed it a while ago, didn't
Yeah.
we? But like,
Because
yeah.
people have tuned out at this point.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah, like if I listened to an episode of something and at the end they said they're on YouTube and I didn't know, I would have preferred to watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because I watch.
And you're not going to
most
go
podcasts
back
on
and
YouTube.
listen again.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah.
So I'd be more like, oh, we're on YouTube. Oh, I'll watch it on YouTube then.
Yeah.
So maybe put something like that on there. But yeah.
Well, that's a future note.
Yeah.
For next week.
For us, not for you. Yeah. So yeah, good times.
Yeah.
Cool. And I'm going down south. You're working.
Yeah.
So
I'm
we
editing
should
this
have
week.
actual stuff to talk about next week.
Yeah.
Instead of
That'd be good.
that family dealing with the suicide of their son.
Yeah.
Not laughing about it.
Yeah.
It's just the way the story is told.
Yeah.
It's just interesting.
Well,
And yeah, maybe we'll start giving money to suicide.
maybe.
knows?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, my
Cool.
son's not dead, so I'm going to turn the light off if it's the same as you.
Fade out.